Hey, hey, welcome back to another episode of Bella in Your Business. My name is Bella Vasta, and today we're going to dive into something that, quite honestly, I think a lot of people are still confused about, and it's okay. ChatGPT is not Google, it's not even close. And yet, I still hear people saying things like, oh, I don't need ChatGPT, I can just Google it. And I have to take a deep breath and be like, no, stop. It's like saying a calculator is the same thing as a math teacher. One just spits out numbers, and the other actually helps you understand exactly what the heck you're doing. So, today we're going to talk about why ChatGPT is not like Google and why that actually matters to you, and how AI is straight up changing the way we think, we work, and we make decisions. We're going to go through three real life stories. I'm going to give you like my own stories from this week. Um, I know you guys love hearing what's going on in my life. I get like the most comments on the podcast when I'm just kind of casually talking to you. Like we're just two girlfriends chilling out, right? But I'm going to tell you kind of some funny stories. One about my sinuses, a broken toilet, and shopping for an iPad. This sounds like the beginning of a bad joke. Because let's be real, those are the three of the most random things I could possibly string together in an episode, but I promise they're going to connect. Then we're going to talk about some real ways that people are using AI this week, like your actual colleagues, and they're ways that you would never have thought of. And literally, I asked people like what they're using AI for, and some of these answers really did blow my mind. Some of them are genius, and I might even do it too. And some of them are hilarious, but all of them prove why AI is so much more than just a search engine. And finally, we're going to break down exactly what's the difference between Google and ChatGPT or AI, and how you can start using it smarter. My goal is really to just get you to think. It's this paradigm shift that we're in the middle of right now. And I want you to think about it, and I want you to realize just how much you might be limiting yourself. Okay, here we go. Story number one, the sinus infection and the doctor's visit that wasn't. You guys, this is absolutely crazy. This is like WebMD on steroids. Okay. So picture this. Arizona is basically a big, giant dust bowl, especially right now. The dust storms have been out of control. Like literally, we have these things called haboobs where the dust just, there's a wall that you can see. Google it. It's amazing. But it's terrible. Like you can't open your windows. Like it's finally not freezing. It's kind of like our spring. Like we have 1 month of spring before it gets so hot that you can't like open your windows. And you can't open your windows right now because you like literally can't breathe. Um, and every single year, like clockwork, my sinuses decide to betray me. And I get it, they're working overtime. Now, if you've ever had a sinus infection, then you know how miserable it is. My eyes were watering, my head is pounding because my sinuses are blocked. It's giving me sinus pressure, which is giving me a sinus headache. Like I could not function. And I was like, okay, is this just my normal yearly sinus infection or is it the flu? Because truth be told, a couple days prior to that, Olivia had the flu and she like was on and off of temperatures, and just the poor thing. Like it was horrible. And as you know, as a parent, it's like it's hard, right? Like you're trying to care for your kid, but also not get sick yourself. So I did what any logical person would do. I asked ChatGPT, hey, here's what I'm feeling. Do I have sinusitis or is it just the flu? Now, pause for a second and imagine if Google had answered this instead. You already know what would have happened. I would have got 5,000 pages of symptoms, all that overlap. I would have read some random forum post where someone said they had the same symptoms and ended up in the hospital. And by the end of it, I probably would have convinced myself that I was dying because that just happens when you Google health symptoms, right? Like you get everything in the kitchen sink. And then it's your duty to sift through it, to analyze it, to use your common sense, and to pick through what you want to, like really take to heart. But ChatGPT, it actually had me follow up with some questions. It said, do you have a fever? Nope. Are your symptoms worse on one side of your face? Yup. Do you have muscle aches? Nope. Boom, sinus infection. And then I did something really smart. I asked it, what should I tell urgent care to make sure I get the right treatment? Now, I say this because last year I remember I called urgent care and I had only been experiencing symptoms for like 2 days, which was exactly the same timeline as this right now. And they said, "Oh, we're sorry. We have to wait more days to prescribe you anything." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, let's just, you could just imagine how upset I was. I was like, "I'm not going to sit here and keep, suffering." So I literally wanted to know what was the right thing, what was the wrong thing to say. So I said, let's be honest, because sometimes when you go to urgent care, they're like, drink fluids and rest, or they're like, we need more time for it to develop into an infection so that we can give you a Z pack. And then, you know, we're just gonna leave it there, okay? And so what happened is that ChatGPT told me exactly what I needed to say. It helped me explain my symptoms in a way that made it really clear I needed to reduce the swelling. I called urgent care, they called me back. I told them exactly what ChatGPT told me to say. And guess what? I got the meds that I needed. And no wasted time, no horrible stuff, but something else happened that was kind of interesting. So I was like, I know I need like a Z pack and steroids. Well, I wasn't actually sure I needed a Z pack, but I definitely needed the steroids because I was so inflamed. So about an hour later, I'm at CVS and they're like, we have 4 medications for you. And I'm like, four? Why do you have four? So, of course, they kind of overprescribed, right? I've got the steroids, I've got the Z-Pack, I've got like a nose spray, and then I forget what the last one was, quite honestly. And so I'm like, "Oh, okay, shoot. Well, I don't want this to get worse, but do I really need a Z-Pack right now?" And sometimes it's okay. Like, I believe that it's kind of cool to have a Z-Pack on um on hold at home in case I ever need it. Luckily I don't use them too much, but it's just kind of neat to have them stocked up. My own personal preference, of course. And so I went back to ChatGPT again and I said, "Do I really need to take this Z-Pack?" And it again asked me all these questions, what color is the discharge coming out of my nose? Um, and basically went through all these symptoms to find out if I had an infection, in which we concluded I didn't. And so I took the steroids, and in a couple of days, I was really great. Now, I hate to say it, and I'm not getting political, but no matter where you might stand, with medicine or homeopathic stuff or whatever it might be, I'm trying to make the best decision to get like healthy as fast as I possibly can. And I know that I have a sinus blockage and I know that I needed steroids to like help the inflammation so that I could get better. And a week later, I'm better. Like, thank God. Actually, within 12 hours, I was already experiencing better symptoms or less symptoms, rather. But this day, to get an appointment with a doctor, I'd have to wait for that, then I have to go to the doctor, then I have to hope that, they prescribe me properly, then I'd have to wait for the call in for the prescription, and then it would probably be at least 24 hours. And so being able to do telehealth and then also have ChatGPT that can literally act as a family doctor was helped me get better faster than a traditional way, or a way that if I went to Google and I'd have to Google my own symptoms, um I'd have to try to make that conclusion myself, right? And I could make mistakes, and I didn't. So that was cool. The second story, and I promise you, I'm gonna like tie all these stories together, was the toilet disaster and my dad advice dilemma. So this same night that this is all going on, let me tell you, it was like a really like exciting Thursday night for me. I finally got home. I took my meds and I'm like working on a blog because I mean, why not? Now I'm like hopped up on prednisone and a little like jittery. And I'm working on it. It's late night, it's about 11:30, about to go to bed. I go to the bathroom. Guess what? My toilet's leaking. I'm like, wait, what? What did I do to deserve this right now? And it's leaking like actively, like the toilet bowl. So I quickly like dump out whatever was in my trash can and put my trash can underneath there. And who do I text? I text my dad because that's what you do. Um, and my dad's basically like a walking Home Depot. And he sends me back this long text like, go to Home Depot, look at the different toilets, compare the sizes, see if the city gives you rebates. I didn't even think that the city would give me rebates on a toilet. And I'm like, nope, too much, overwhelmed. Like it's 11:30 at night, dad. Like, oh my gosh, like that's too much work. It's too much brain power. So what do? I literally open up ChatGPT and I talk to it. And I'm like, hey, this is this like it's my friend, right? I'm not talking to it like you would type something into a Google search. I'm talking to it like it is a human that understands what I'm talking about. Hey, what's up? Like thanks for all that sinus help, but I got a new problem. um, can you help me with this toilet situation? I need to get a new toilet. I know nothing about toilets. I had no idea they came in different shapes. I mean, I know that you had like your bidets or like, the press the button at the top instead of like crank the lever, but I had no idea there was like different chair sizes and oh man. And so what I did is I told them the questions that my dad asked, and I was like, "What should I do?" And it came back, and I even took a picture too, and about what was instantly happening. And it was like, boom! It told me what was wrong. It told me whether I needed a new toilet, and get this, it even told me that my city had rebates and what kind of toilets I should look at to get the rebate for those toilets, which means I actually saved money by using AI. Google would have sent me down a YouTube rabbit hole. I would have been watching videos, trying to listen to what they're saying, comprehend it at like midnight by now, and I'd probably still be watching a 40-minute DIY YouTube video. Okay. What it was able to do was it was able to apply some lack a better word, common sense, right? And critical thinking to kind of like take my problem and have a conversation with me, right? And not only that, but it also leads to you know, okay, I understand this is all the stuff. These are all the options. Based off of what you're saying, this is what we can do. Would you like me to insert the next step? Like it keeps moving the problem forward, which is so helpful. Now, the third story also involves my dad. Gosh, I was just so grateful for him this week. He does not listen to podcasts, let alone my own podcast. But if he did, I would definitely give him a shout out. Um, and it's just I'm really grateful that I have him in my life. So let's fast forward a few days, and my dad, the same guy that sent me like the PhD thesis level on toilets, um, he now wants to buy my mom an iPad and it's for her birthday, right? And he's like, "Hey kid, can you help me figure out which iPad I should get?" And I was like, "Sure, like what's wrong with her current one?" Well, she has a current iPad Gen 5 and I think we're on Gen 10 or 11 right now. And I was like, "What's not working for her?" And he's like, "It's the storage, right?" And he said that the storage that she has, because she can't put as many apps that she wants on there or her videos or photos. And I'm like, okay, well, you're always going to have an app, video, and storage problem, right? um or sorry, apps is separate. I think you can actually solve the app problem, but in terms of videos and pictures, you have to kind of solve that. And up until a certain point, I don't know if you guys know, but like Apple would only let you do like 1 terabyte. And so at that point, I maxed myself out because I had like 100,000 videos and like 30,000, I'm sorry, 100,000 pictures and like 30,000 videos. I am definitely a, uh, a person who likes to be a visual storyteller. Okay, let's just say that. And and so I had to solve that problem a while ago. And so what I did is I use Google Photos. So yes, I have my camera roll that I use on my iPhone, but everything is always backed up to Google Photos and my hundreds of thousands of videos and pictures are all in Google Photos. And actually I really prefer Google's AI and how I can sort through and find things a lot better than Apple. But that's neither here nor there. There's the rabbit hole. So coming back to this conversation, I was like, all right, Dad. And so he doesn't necessarily need, the full Monty. He just needs to, he wants to upgrade my mom's iPad. Now, what happens? You get into decision paralysis. I could go to Costco, which is where he wanted to get it, and I could see all of the different iPads that they do. And then I could see that, and then I could go to Apple and I could say, okay, is Costco offering, the most recent stuff from Apple, or is it different, or is it the same? Oh, it's Costco, so it's probably a version for Costco, right? And so now I get into this like decision paralysis because it's overwhelmed with all of the different options. And then each iPad has different specs on it. And it's like, how do we compare and contrast? Well, the 2024 way would be to compare them side by side on a computer, and you go straight down, and then you're wondering, okay, well, does this feature really matter to me? I don't even know what this feature is. And now again, you're in decision paralysis. Yeah. Well, here we go, ChatGPT, my BFF. Let's go. So what I did is I literally said to ChatGPT, um, I said to it, I was like, hey, I am looking for, let's see if I have this here for you. I said, I just talked to it again, and I just said, hey, my dad is looking to get an iPad for my mom, and this is what is important to them. And they're looking at trading her old one in either at Apple or Costco, and she doesn't need the full Monty. We don't need to spend the top dollar. What would be a reasonable pick for her? And so what it did is it came back with three different options, what they were in their specs. Then it analyzed and it said, based off of what you told me is important to your mom, I would choose this one for these reasons. Furthermore, here are the links that you can go and put in your mom's serial number and find out how much Apple would give you for a trade-in and Costco would give you for a trade-in. But again, based off of the information you gave me, I would suggest doing the Costco buy-in program because your parents shop at Costco, and they would use a rebate from Costco, the buyback program more. And so what it did is it did all that like decision making. Now, why is this important? It's important for us because we make so many decisions a day, and there is decision fatigue. And when you can't, like when you spend your time and your effort making so many decisions, and some of those decisions could be alleviated or helped with AI, that's going to free up your mind to tackle the bigger problems in life. Think about it. Just think about how many decisions you make a day. I want you to really think about it. And when you can get to the point where you're like, okay, I your brain isn't so overwhelmed because you've had something help you bring you along, rather than spend the time and the anguish. The anguish is the big thing for me. It's just like, help me make this decision and like have a conversation with me, right? And so I want to tell you things that people are actually using this for, because you're also not going to believe this. This is actually really fun. Okay, so here's my point. Like, when it comes to, like, say, the iPad, Google would have handled it by giving me a list of iPads and reviews from people with completely different needs and no real guidance which one was best for my mom, right? ChatGPT comes in, and because I didn't just ask what iPads are out there and used it like Google, I told them my unique situation. It gave me decision-making framework instead of just information for me to sift through. And that's huge. That's absolutely huge. ChatGPT isn't just about answering questions, it helps you think through the problems so you don't waste that mental energy, at least now in March of 2025. Okay. If you're listening to this in the future, I cannot wait to see what's in store for us. Now, I also want to transition this a little bit, and you've heard how I've used AI. I want to encourage you to kind of blow your mind and expand your mind a little bit here. Here is, I asked around in our community, and here's how people in our community are using it in no particular order. Personal productivity and life hacks. People are doing voice to text brain dumping using AI to talk through ideas instead of typing. They're using it to sleep optimization, determining ideal sleep needs, bedtimes, and learning about their sleep cycles with things like their wearables. They're creating dinner recipes, asking AI for meals based on available ingredients, planning birthdays, coming up with creative ideas for celebrating a spouse's birthday successfully, might I add. They're doing it for business and work efficiency. They're reducing workplace interruptions. Teams are using AI bots more and more, leading to fewer distractions. The vet outreach strategy, they're developing a structured approach to reaching out to vet offices. Client contract reviews, they're refining their contracts. Client avatar development, I just did a whole thing in our AI lab last week on that and did a short training on how they could get their ideal client avatar using AI. Pet sitter appreciation planning, generating and handwriting personalized thank you notes for employees, SOP updates, hiring process support. We did another video on that this week too. Creating marketing packages, brainstorming new package ideas, and refining them with AI. They're also this, but wait, there's so much more. Tech problem solving, like research and selection for learning about new toilets. A tree frog diet debate, exploring whether cricket-free a diet is possible for frogs without actually buying any. Yeah, because some of my clients have these for pets. I'm telling you, it's just the most off the wall things. Customer experience and reviews, automating review requests, tracking customer responses because you can analyze all of your Google reviews and find out what is the common theme that people are saying about you. Medical assistance, like I was talking about, my own support, but someone else was doing POTS, postural orthotic tachycardia, and I can't pronounce that. They were learning about the symptoms and testing for alternative treatments. See, AI isn't just about random questions. It helps people be more efficient, less stressed, and more strategic. Strategic is a big part of it. And it brings us back to why ChatGPT is not Google. Now, Google versus generative AI, what's the difference? Google is a search engine, right? It retrieves, it goes out, it finds your information, and it plops it right there for you to sift through it. ChatGPT is generative. It analyzes and it adapts the information to your needs. It is what so many of you say out there that you want is common sense. Google helps you find the answers. ChatGPT helps you think through the answers. And this matters because we don't need more information. You don't need more classes on how to build your business. You don't need more uh you don't need more stuff. You need less. You need less stuff and of the right things. AI isn't replacing thinking because you can't get what you don't ask for. You have to be able to think in order to get those results. It's freeing up our mental energy for bigger, important decision ideas to come through. And so I want you to take one thing from this episode. It's just don't use ChatGPT like it's Google because it's not. It's your personal assistant. Talk to it. And when you don't know what to say, tell it you don't know what to say, but this is your problem. What questions does it need to ask you? And I'm doing this episode today because I want you to really think about it. And so many people out there are using AI right now. They are using it, but as I posted on my Facebook page today, most of you are using it wrong. And it's pitiful. Like it's copy and pasted and it's generic and it's terrible. Like good that you're doing it, but please, I want to help you use your time effectively and be really like precision and not just throwing pasta up against the wall and seeing what sticks because there's so much more that you could be doing and I want to help you. Please let me help you. If this sounds like you, if you want to take that jump, if you want to be around a bunch of other people that are using AI in their daily personal and business life, please jump on into the mastermind, jumpconsulting.net/mastermind. And there's a whole bunch of people in there that are killing it. We already have 17 short trainings, so you can pick what you want in there. And I am right there. I'll get on camera and help you one-on-one. You want to work with me? Let's do it in the mastermind. Like, I am here and having so much fun. But I want to leave you with this. You only have so much mental energy in a day. Why waste it on toilets and iPads? Like, think about it. I know that you get to a decision fatigue. Maybe it happens by noon for you. And you're just like, I can't make any more decisions. Nope. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Right? This can really, really help you. And so I hope that this episode has helped the paradigm shift, helped you think about that Google, ChatGPT is not Google or AI or Claude or whatever LLM that you're using, whatever large language model you're using. And it's really important for you to understand how this is working. This isn't like, oh, AI is here and you can jump on it whenever. No, 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 no. AI is here and we're on a freight train right now. So if you get on the train now and you get acclimated, the faster this train goes, the more advanced you, your life, your business, your personal life will be. This is a whole journey. This is not a destination, and we have only just pulled out of the first station. So I really encourage you to join us and join me. I will not let you down. I'll be right there with you the whole entire way. I hope that, and I look forward to hearing your stories too. What have you used um, AI for, and how has it helped your business, and not just as Google? You guys, I want to encourage you to remember that when life gets you down, always keep jumping. I'm going to see you back again next week for another episode of Bella in Your Business. Please, please, please don't forget to subscribe and share and like and leave a comment. That would help us out so much. Have a wonderful day.